Hey, Robin Wilson with SCP Agency. And I had an experience just recently, and I really want to share it with you guys. I'm so kind of jazzed about it. And it just reminds me of so many things as to what we do every day and why we do it. So during the pandemic, we've all felt so isolated and alone and separate from everybody else because, like, all of the germs are just walking around and we're all going to get it. And so we've just been so apart, really is kind of the word, just disconnected with the rest of our fellow humans. And I thought about how much of an impact we have when we're connected. And this story is a couple of years old. So any of you who know me know I go to Costa Rica quite often. And when I'm traveling to and from, I usually come in and out of San Jose. But I end up in a little town in the southern zone called Uvita. Or if you're from there, you call it Ubita. So I had taken a bus from Uvita back to San Jose, and then I needed a ride from the bus depot to the airport. But in San Jose, it is not legal for an Uber driver to pick you up and take you to the airport because the unions kind of run the taxi service, and so they will strike. And when they strike, they don't just stop running, they block off the on-ramps and off-ramps to every highway that surround the city so that it just immobilizes the city. That's how powerful they are. So when you get an Uber driver to drop you off at the airport, he has to kind of hug you and act like your family, like so that nobody knows he's an Uber driver, right? And so this one particular time, and anybody who knows me knows that if I'm in a vehicle with an Uber driver, I'm asking them a ton of questions. I'm just so interested in why they do this and what do they enjoy about it, and is this a side hustle, or do they have a day job, or they, what is the deal with, why are you an Uber driver? And so this time was no different. I had gone through the app and ordered an Uber to come and pick me up at the bus depot. And when he got there, generally Costa Rica has like the friendliest people, right? But when he got there, he was just kind of grumpy, just throwing our bags in the back and not really Costa. He's not really like the typical Tico. So we get in there, and it's like a 30-minute drive, and I decided just to chat him up. Let's visit. So why do you drive an Uber? Why, what is all of this about? And what did you do before this? And what are you going to do after this? And so he starts telling me the story, and he used to be an executive for a U.S.-based athletic shoe company. And he was in charge of like the distribution and purchase orders for the stores in Costa Rica. And then he got replaced by somebody younger than him. And ageism apparently is a big deal in Costa Rica. And he tried like for several months to get another job, and nobody would take him because he was 42. Like, I just can't even imagine that being a reason why you were rejected for a job, 42 years old. So he just couldn't. So like after months and months of just trying to do something to make ends meet, he just went ahead and got licensed to be an Uber driver. An Uber driver. My throat is gone right now. So so we got to talking. That was just his fate. He was still just kind of really pissy about it. And I said, well, if you could do anything, what would you do? And so we started talking about his dreams and his goals and what he would want to do. And I said, well, what's the first step? If it was to go back to school, like, what's the first step of getting enrolled? Is there money involved? Do you have to have money to go back to school? And so we just had all of these conversations about his future. And his spirit started to lift. Like you could see, he's been so long looking backwards and looking into his past that he hadn't thought about his future. He just was stuck in this funk. So he started getting into a better mood. He started dreaming again. And we just chatted the whole rest of the way to the airport. So before I got out, I left him my business card. I'm like, if you ever need anything, just call me, reach out to me, whatever. Just reach out to me, and I'll be glad to talk to you about anything. So when he hugged me at the airport, it wasn't so that he didn't get in trouble for being an Uber driver. He was so grateful. Like, he just hung on to me for the longest time. And I think about him often, and that's been a couple of years, but I think about him often, and I think about our ability to make a connection with people. Like, how amazing is that, that you have a brief amount of time, if you'll get your face out of your phone and look up and look at the people that are around you and have a conversation with them, listen to them, hear them, and then see if there's something you can do to help their life be easier. So about 2 months ago, I got a notice on WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is the app that everybody in Costa Rica kind of communicates through, right? So they can call each other, text each other. It's just the tool that they use in everyday life. And so I got a WhatsApp notification from him. And he's like, hey, do you remember me? I was your Uber driver to the airport. And he started retelling his story. And I'm like, absolutely. How have you been? How have things been? And so he told me, he's like, I'm ready to start doing what you do down here, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. And I said, well, I have a course that I created to teach people how to do social media for the automotive industry. I would be, glad to send you the link for that. And I knew, because I know the country and I know how much money they make, that the $379 cost for that course was probably way out of line. And so I said, what do you think that you could afford to pay for that course? And I only did that because I know that when something is free, sometimes people don't put value behind it. And so he said, Miss Robin, I would love to pay you whatever the price is for it. He's like, but tourism has been down since the pandemic and we just don't have any money. I'm just really struggling. I said, I understand. I said, I'm going to send you the link and I'm going to send you a coupon code for this to be free. Go through it. If you have any questions, please message me back. And if I can help you in any way, I'll be glad to. And so he was so excited. I promised Miss Robin, when I start making money again, I'm going to pay you back. And I said, there's no need for that. I'm just so excited that I had something that could help him. And if you think about the fact that I could have just written him off as a grumpy Uber driver and not given him another thought, like, his life sucks, that sucks for him, he needs to get out of his head junk. But I didn't. I really wanted to know, just wherever you're at, you're not stuck there, right? Nobody's stuck there. It doesn't matter what your age is. And so what step can you take? What one step can you take today to make tomorrow look different or the next day look different? And if we could all connect with a human and see where we could add value to them, see where we could, maybe one of our experiences might help them. We just have to look up and talk to people sometimes. And we just look around the room and everyone's got their face stuck in their phone and nobody's connecting. And I think about how one person's life may have been changed ever so slightly, and it makes me smile. And so I would just encourage you today, this week, this month, this year, even though we have a pandemic going on, pull your mask down and smile at somebody. Have a conversation. It'll be okay. Have a wonderful week.